you. So we've got a fantastic guest. I'm very, very delighted to have him here. You might have seen him on TV in Derek with Ricky Gervais. You might have been to one of his fantastic comedy shows here at the Fringe. He wasn't here last year, and we're going to find out why. Please welcome on stage Mr. Brett Goldstein.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Oh my God. Did we fill in the risk assessment form? Right, okay. Brett, thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks.
Now, I did mention that you weren't here at the Fringe last year.
Yes.
You were here 2 years ago with a show about pornography that Richard literally still talks about. He absolutely loved it. Nice. It was amazing. Really, really insightful. Your show's always very personal, always very clever, very thoughtful. You weren't here last year. Tell us where you were.
I didn't come last year. I talk about it in my new show, but basically, after I did my last show, which I'd worked very hard on all that, at the end of the Fringe, I saw my mum, and she said to me, I heard your show went really well. And I went, yeah, thanks. And she went, what's it for? And then that ruined my life. And so I was like, I don't know what, I don't know how to answer that. And then last year a load of things happened, and there's a thing called the Burning Man Festival, but it happens in August.
That? Yeah, tell us about that, because I've got a friend that's going, and I just thought it was a bit of a festival, and then I saw that your show was about it, so I looked into it, and it's totally, it's a thing, it's a big thing. Can you explain to people who don't know what it is?
So it's a sort of hippie festival that happens in the desert in America, and you're not allowed money, and everyone has to share everything, and everyone has to sort of make art, and like at the end of the week you have to burn everything, and it has to be like you leave no trace, and you can die, you know what I mean, because you're in the desert for a week. I mean, it's unlikely, like take water. I mean, I think the festival probably wouldn't still be going on if lots of people died, but I mean 3 people died when I was there actually. Do you know what, I don't talk about this in my show, but it's really dark. Someone died, got run over by an art car, and the people who were with that person carried on the rest of the festival. I'd have thought if your mate dies at a festival, you go home, don't you? Your festival, your festival's over, isn't it? And they were like, oh, it's really tragic. Anyway, and then that's really dark. Sorry, but I just remembered that. Yeah, but it's like
it's intense though. Like if people are dying around you, that's not like a holiday, is it?
No, it's not a holiday. But I mean, there are portaloos. It's not totally extreme. Like there are places to use a toilet.
Well, that's something. Why did you go?
Because I had a friend who'd been, and he said to me, "That's the greatest thing that you'll ever do, and it'll change your life, and it's so spiritual and all this shit." And but it's always in August, and I always do Edinburgh. And I thought, well, I don't know what it's for anymore, so I'll go. So I went last year, and also I thought, worst case scenario, I'll get a show out of it.
And you did.
And I did, yeah. And the worst case scenario happened.
Did you not find yourself then in the desert?
I mean,
are you too much of a cynical comedian? Is that the problem?
The problem was the people was the problem.
So often the case,
that
isn't
is
it?
the bit you have to endure. In a way, it's like any sort of it's like communism. It's like anything. It's like on paper, the Burning Man Festival is incredible. It's such a lovely idea, and it is this thing where everyone has to help each other and share and build and all this stuff. But people really get in the way of all that because people are dicks, mostly. So that was the tragedy of it. Was everyone there?
Right.
But the desert's great.
Good.
Like the desert, and the sun looks nice.
And you did not die.
I didn't die.
Winning.
And so I didn't have to stay and feel guilty because I didn't have to leave my friends feeling guilty because I had died, and they thought, oh, we can't go home with him because we've come this far.
I'm kind of interested that you create art and stuff when you're there, and then you have to burn it. What did you create?
Oh yeah, so our art. It's really hard to. You sort of have to do it. I do a thing.
Is it embarrassing? Are you?
It's not embarrassing. It's just more. I do a thing called the Song Emporium. With my friend Dee, where you come into a little hut. It's basically to freak people out who are on drugs.
Right. Were there a lot of them at Burning
Man?
Everyone. Right,
so
everyone.
It's quite easy. But they come into our little hut and we ask them their favourite song, and then they pick it, and then Dee sings the song, but I sing a different song to them at exactly the same time, and then we put the first line of the song they picked and the last line of the song I picked, and it will make a slogan for them to live their day by. and it always sounds profound.
Give me an example.
And they'll always go like, "Fucking hell!" I can't. I have to do it with. You'd have to give me.
Right. Okay.
What's your favourite song?
What's my favourite song? I don't. My brain's going. George Michael, Freedom 90. I don't know why so often is the case.
So then we need someone to play. Do you want to do another job? You've had enough, haven't you?
Already.
You'd have to have someone needs to sing Freedom.
Right. Okay.
If this is going to work.
Okay. This. Gonna have some faith in the sound. That's Faith. That's the wrong song.
Okay, you sing Freedom.
Oh no! Don't make me sing.
You wanted this.
Okay.
I didn't want this.
Okay.
I'm yes-anding you.
Okay. Can you not got an example of one that you've done prepared before that won't involve me singing? I'm not good at. I'm not good at singing. No. Freedom. Oh, no. No. Okay. I don't think we have time for that. They should come to your show. Presumably there are some in your show. We'll have to think about it.
No, that doesn't happen in the show.
Oh, doesn't?
No, I have to have Dee Dee here.
No, we have to do it. Well, let's think about it. We'll do it later on, right? We'll do it later on.
Okay.
Because my brain's gone completely blank. That's what
worry.
happens. The other thing that I wanted to ask you about was later on this year, in autumn, I had 3 notes, and it was porn, Burning Man, and Super Bob. Weird shopping list, if you ever found that on the street.
Yes.
Tell me about Super Bob.
Super Bob is a film that I wrote and am in that took us 5 years to make, and it is finally coming out in October, and we're very proud of it.
What's the deal? Why did it take 5 years?
Because films are really hard.
Right.
They take ages. They're like the exact opposite of stand-up. Like you think something in the afternoon, you go on stage that evening, you say it, it's done. With a film, you think something, and then 5 years later, you see it with an audience. You go, I can't even remember thinking that. Like, and if they laugh, you go, oh yeah, thank God that was funny, because Jesus.
Whoa, that is delayed gratification.
It takes a long time. It was sort of 2 years to develop the script, and then a year. We filmed it over a year. Well, we filmed it in a short period of time, and then a year editing it, and then a year getting it out.
What's the story, so we can look
it's
forward
about
to it?
It's about the world's only superhero, but he's British and he lives in Peckham, which is like living in Leith, but without the hope. No, that isn't true. It's lovely Peckham, and he's a good superhero, but he works for the Ministry of Defence as a civil servant, and he's very shy. He's socially awkward, and it's sort of just because he's got superpowers, it doesn't make him good at.
What are his
chat.
superpowers?
He's like Superman. He can fly and he's strong and he's fast.
Huge.
Yeah.
Good. The eyes. He's got the eyes. Got the eyes. Good. Anything else? Running really, really fast.
You can run really fast if you want.
Brilliant. Yeah. All 3. That's fantastic. Well, and when can we? Do you know? Have you got a release date for that yet, or is it just?
I believe it's October 16th.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Well, I think we should probably let you go now, Brett. Thank you so much for joining us, ladies and gentlemen. Round of applause for Brett Goldstein.
Thanks. Thank you.
Before you go.
Oh yeah. What?
Your show. When's your show? When can they go see your show?
It's in the courtyard, Pleasance Courtyard, at 9:30 every day.
Good.
Thank you for having me. Please enjoy the rest of your fridge. Good night.
Okay, you too. Bye. Come over, Richard. Where are you?